Okay, so I wanted to get you guys together because of the Brian and Ryan show.
Really, it's probably Ryan and Brian show, just because it's his idea. So
it's his idea. The Beltline is, but then the thing was, you started off around the same time. It seems like maybe a little bit earlier with Atlantic Station, right?
I used to say I was a year or so or two ahead of Ryan, but he was getting 2 masters. I was getting 1.
I see.
So
And on the left is Ryan Gravel, who is the conceiver, inventor, original advocate for the Beltline, and on the right is Brian Leary. Explain to us what you did for Atlantic Station.
long story short, I needed a job in kind of the early 90s, mid-90s recession, and was an architect by training and had worked at a large corporate architecture firm and realized that of the 100 people there, only 1 or 2 actually ever drew a line. And I said, I don't want to do this, I want to hire the guys to do this. And so I needed to come up with an idea that hopefully would get me hired in the real estate development business. Serendipity played its part and allowed me to actually work on it. And so I had a 190-page paper called Atlantic Station, a place to live, work, and play, and then convinced some guys who actually had the money to do it, to hire me, to let me do it. And that was really, I started that in 95, and then my first kind of full day working on it was in 97, and then left there a little more than a year ago, this being the fall of 2010, to head up the Atlanta Beltline.
And meanwhile, Ryan, you guys, actually, did you overlap at Tech?
Yeah, in undergrad also. Brian, I was a year ahead of Brian in undergrad, and then I took a year off. We started planning graduate school and city planning together at the same time.
So you knew each other, I think Brian was saying, for like 20 years you've actually known each other.
Almost, yeah.
I haven't done the math.
Yeah, I mean, probably a little less than 20 years, because when we started at undergrad, but we kind of joke. I mean, I'm sure we were there late at night in the studio, like 3 o'clock in the morning.
I guarantee you I was there.
And I'm kind of going, what should I call this thing? Maybe, Atlantic Center. And Ryan probably would have said, I don't think that works too well. And maybe he was thinking of something called the Belt Loop, right?
Yeah,
so
the Circle Line was the other historic term.
The Circle Line, right.
It didn't quite catch on.
Well, that shows that your story, you just made up that story, Brian. But but are you guys conscious that people might get you guys confused, because there's that Brian guy who started, the Beltline or Atlantic Station, and then there's that Ryan guy who might have done that too?
To be honest, I haven't been aware of much confusion.
You haven't even thought about it.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter, because it's not about either one of us.
Right.
It's about the project and about Atlanta. And so I'm flattered if they think it's me, which is really cool. Atlanta's a really cool town. We have this amazing project to work on together. We had a tremendous turnout today, and so at the end of the day, the names in the book may or may not be Ryan or Brian, but there's a lot of other people that are signed up right next to us.
Cool.
Yeah, it's been amazing too. I mean, you don't do this. It might have been my thesis at Georgia Tech, but you don't pull this kind of project off because it's your idea in school. I mean, there's a lot of, literally thousands of people involved with this project over the last 10 years. This is not, we wouldn't be doing it if people didn't want it, and we wouldn't be doing it if they weren't actively involved in making it happen. So we're lucky enough to still be involved. I'm not a surfer, but I use the surfing analogy a lot, and that this wave is like going to shore, and I'm lucky to be still being able to ride the wave and be a part of it. But one way or another, it's going to go to shore.
Lucky we're riding, particularly the wave is a lot bigger than it was before.
I know. Right, absolutely.
Right. Well, thanks very much, Brian Leary and Ryan Gravel.